Hey, what up, everybody? How's it going? It's Mikey Wine here, aka Gun Ammonium Works, and we are live again. Tonight's a little bit special as we're going to be talking about Seattle IPMS annual spring show coming up this Saturday, and I'm going to talk about all the entries. I got 4 entries and maybe even 5 if I'm lucky. I've been working on the Max Battery pretty steadily here, not trying to get it done. I wasn't expecting it done for the weekend, but there's a good possibility I can. I got a few more things to do, and we'll look at that. But anyway, let's get the show started. Grumpy face there at the end. So anywho, we're going to be I want to talk about all the entries I'm taking this weekend to Seattle's annual or IPMS's annual spring show every April. And this is the second year since COVID. We got back. We missed 3 years there a while back. But so, I got four entries done. And one of them I wasn't even sure I was going to take, but I am going to take the Quedlin Row. It is finished. I mean, it's part of the diorama, but as a standalone kit, it is complete. So I'm going to end up taking that. But first things first, I'm going to kind of show off where I'm at with Bateroid. I got nobody on right at the moment. Let's see. Yeah, so at the meantime, we'll wait for some people to join in, and they can talk about if they're coming to the show or not and what they're going to bring as well. So let me go down to, let's go down this bench. Look here. Okay, so you can see a little bit here. This is the I'll bring this out in a minute. This is the Tomahawk, and then over to my right is the Super Jerry, and then behind me is the Quedlin Row and the tank, the M1A1 Abrams that I'm also bringing, and we'll show those in a second. So here is the Bateroid in its current state. I've kind of shoved everything over. I've been working on the bench, but I cleared everything off beforehand, so I'd have some room to move these kits around. So, but also, get this. If you come and find me this Saturday, I got some new cards, business cards. I think I showed these off last week. I got these made up. Got all the websites on the back. So come find me. You'll get a business card. And then as well, what else we got here? I got these guys. I actually got some more coming tomorrow too. Slaps anybody? So I had a chibi drawing. There was an artist. I just had his name up in my email. I forgot his name. It's been so long since I talked to him. But he did a render of the Sinister Sosby that I had finished one of the kits several years ago. I think it was actually 2017, maybe. Maybe I'm trying to think. No, it could have been later than that, but it was on display at one of the IPMS shows, the same show I'm going to this weekend. Anyway, he did this drawing for me, and I've had this photo in my phone for a while, and so I had some stickers made. Well, focus. There we go. Focus on the sticker. There we go. So come find me. I'll get you guys some free slaps. And I've also got some more showing up tomorrow, some round versions of this. Might be a little bit smaller image, but just because it's the same size, same dimension, same 3 inches round, but the image is in the middle of it, so it will be slightly smaller. Hey, what's up? What's going, Nick? Just showing off the slaps here and the cards. Getting ready to talk about the Bateroid and its current state. I might actually finish this for the weekend. I wasn't planning on taking this as an entry, but sweet slabs. Yeah, I'm going to start sending those out after this weekend. I've been really focused on trying to get this done if I can get it done. I'm not going to rush, but I've only got a few more of the missile pods to do. Well, actually, I got to clear coat this one, but I'm placing them on there and I'm shading them or shadowing them according to where they're located on the wings. So each one is kind of unique. I've got to prop it up there, and I'll go into more detail about that here. Let's just go down to the close-up. I can talk about that. So here is Max Bataroid, and you can see quite a bit of shading on the wings, the underside of the wings. That's because these missile pods are going to be on the wings. So I figured there would be a shadow. I'm pretty much taking up the area that these are located in. This one I have shaded for the outer position on this wing. So that's why there's a lot of shading on the inside, not so much on the outside, because it'll sit right about here. Then when I do the second one, I'll do it, shadow it accordingly as well. So yeah, I'm really, really happy the way this is turning out. If you get a little bit closer, that's more so the light direction is mostly coming from this side over, and then the shadows are all on the other side. If we roll it around, you can see the back with the wings. Not a lot of shadowing going on there because they're not really behind anything. There's not going to be much in the way of shading. But I'm really, really starting to like the way this one's coming out. I think just by design, the detail on this model is a little bit, with the straighter, flatter lines, everything. It's a little bit easier to do this kind of texturing. Here's the leg, one of the legs. This piece is actually floating. I talked to another friend of mine who's actually built one of these Bataroids before, and looking at the instruction book, there's a pivot point right here at the top, which kind of makes this, changes the position of this here. Thanks, Nick. So I was asking, do you glue this in place? But I think he said it's actually supposed to be floating. So once you put the ball joint, the peg through the hole there, that kind of holds everything on, and then you just, doing your regular pose. So I've also got these little lenses on the front of the leg. That's the red one there. A little bit of not so much there, but then the blue on the back is completely shaded. And one of the things I discovered with these pens as well is I figured out that you can actually, we were talking last week about maybe mixing colors together inside the pen. But what I found is if I really oversaturate the tip, I can get some of that, a good dot of that paint to come out. And I actually mixed up a little bit of brown with the red, and that's how I was able to shadow the kite logo on the side. And if you look at this side, it's actually a portion of it is shaded. So you see the difference between the darker and what's exposed to the light. So I'm really happy with that effect, because I had a red pen, but it was just almost the exact same color. It just really didn't change anything. I thought, and then another thing I figured by doing it this way is putting these in the little tin here, is I can actually take a brush and brush it on versus using the pen. So if I really need to get into a deep area, like especially when I did the spot in between the wings here, there's no way to get the tips of those pens all the way down in there. So I actually just put a bunch of gray in here, grabbed my brush and brushed it in, and it works just as well. So it's nice being able to do that. That's what I did with the legs here. Like when I was shadowing the half of the blue, rather than trying to draw that in, because I didn't want to, it was too hard to get I don't have a fine tip blue pen. So in order for me to get that line as nice as I wanted, I had to, use a brush, and it made it way easier. So yeah, I see this side's completely darkened in shadow, but then this one's kind of halfway covered. Anyway, so there's the blue side. I have to touch up that line a little bit. I still haven't. I have one more kneecap here that I've got to finish. That's why this one's not on. If you look at this side, you can see this piece is on, whereas it's missing here. That's because I still need to shadow it and then clear coat it. I'm gonna have to touch up the glare on this blue lens and then also clear coat that. It looks like a little bit of that rubbed up. It's one of the things, the ink in these, or the paint in these pens, it's vibrant color, but pretty fragile unless that's another thing I did with Torso was I just wanted to make sure that I could, I didn't want to have to keep reapplying the paint. And that's what I noticed when I was doing the row kit was anytime I'd handle it, I would just have these little chips or little scrapes and stuff like that. So I did it in sections and then hit it with some clear coat, and that way it was protected. Or you just don't, you be very careful when you're handling it and then clear coat it later. So that way I didn't have as many touch-ups to do there. Okay, let's get on to what we're bringing to IPMS. First thing, let's see, what did I finish first? That would be the tank. So I'm going to bring over the Abrams here and we talk about that. One second, it's right behind me. I'm hoping that this kit does not get like the rivet counter treatment with the IPMS guys. It's by no means, I don't think, historically accurate as far as some of the resin stowage, because I'm not even sure this grill in the back is entirely period or historically accurate compared to what else is put on in the photo etch. But this was a fun build. I'm super happy with the way it came out, and I like these little cones. They came with the stowage set as well. But I think some of these packs that are around the rucksacks and stuff, they're not entirely accurate to the time period of this tank. So that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping it'll do well just based on how it looks versus nitpicking every stupid little thing. And I really hope it doesn't happen, but we'll see. So yeah, I've got quite a bit of resin stowage on here, including the little ice chest, all the packs, the rifle case, the MREs, all that stuff all came in that stowage set, and it was really a nice set, really nice. Let's see, I also got another little cooler over here, photo etch spool, photo etch throughout. There's all the latches and buckles, the straps that hold down the ammo boxes, all that stuff was done in photo etch. Even the rounds that are going into the Browning machine gun here are in photo etch. You can actually see the brass. Get up close. I can try to lift this up to get it closer, but I don't know if you'll be able to see that. So if I go right about here, for it to focus. Yeah, there you go. You can see the magazine coming in the top there, and those brass rounds. Even on the small little machine gun there's brass as well. So yeah, this is just free floating. I'm gonna have to write a note because I just realized I did not include that, or either that or reprint my forms. I've already printed out the entry forms, but I want to make sure that the judges know that this is not attached to the base. And because one of my friends actually had a smaller tank model. What's up, Jason? Yes, I am bringing this Saturday. This is the first kit I'm talking about for this weekend. I'm bringing 4, possibly 5. I might finish the Max Batteroid. I might be able to bring it as well. I've got one arm to do the gun pod. I've got a shade and the right arm, but everything, and then the missile pods. But other than that, it's pretty much done. So I'm pretty close to being finished. If I buckle down, I might be able to do it in the next couple of days. Here, I just got to focus on the the shadowing, get the make sure the light direction is correct, and then just do it. But a friend of mine, Dan, he a few years back, he had a smaller, like 172 scale tank, and a judge actually lifted it up and tilted it, and it slid off the base and broke a bunch of photo etch off of it. It was kind of disappointing, but ultimately, he's a modeler. He knows how to fix it. He made it look just like some damage, wear and tear on the tank later on. But so photo etch fenders, those are there. The photo etch grill, like I said, all the latches and buckles. And then I've got some. You might have seen those. There's actually some clear plastic water bottles on the top. You can see. Let's see. There's one right there next to the gunner, and then there's one. Let's see if I tilt it around. There it is, right next to the commander. And then there's even in the back here. There's right in the center of your screen. There's the little pee bottle. Don't drink the lemonade. Never mind. You just answered my question. What, that I'm bringing this Saturday? Yeah. So that's the first one. This was fun. It was the first modern armor kit that I built, and I can't remember the last time I built a tank. Even going back to when I was a kid, I just don't remember. I got into the motorcycles, and so I was building those 1/12 scale motorcycles from Tamiya, and that's what kind of got me back into scale model building again. But I also had a ton of Macross, old Bandai Macross, variable type Valkyrie kits. I had a bunch of those in a backlog. Excuse me. All right, so that's the first one. We'll put this one aside. We'll bring out number two. The second one I finished this year before this event is the full resin Tomahawk. So set that down. Call this one the Pilot, and just going to slide it forward here. I have to turn it around. Oh, see, this one's big. I may even have to zoom out the camera a little bit. It's so damn big. Trying to get it mostly in the frame. So, yeah, here we go. We got the good view of the cockpit there. That's really the only thing I modified on this kit was I made the hatch position slide further forward. It doesn't move, but I repositioned the bracket that holds it, kind of a resin piece that kind of held the cockpit hatch in place. I repositioned that so it slides further forward, gives you a better view inside the cockpit. And then in the front here, there's the pilot, and then I had this little plaque made for it. I haven't attached this yet. I may just place it right in front, kind of like that. Actually, let me back it up here so you can see it. So I might do something like that. Just have it right in front. I'm not sure yet. I may stick it to the base over here. I don't know. I like these little things. I just ordered them on it's like Perfect Memories or something like that. It's a company that makes plaques and etchings and stuff like that could be for an urn, things, stuff like that. Those used to be called, I'm trying to think of the name of the company that I'm sure they're not around anymore, but it used to be called Things Remembered or something like that. But this one's a similar company, and they got a pretty good turnaround, pretty quick turnaround as far as when you order stuff. So yeah, this one's called the Pilot, and he's just standing there walking up. And again, this is not attached, so you place it between the circles here. But he's just basically standing there walking up, ready to hop in. So this is the second kit on the block that will be brought this Saturday to the IPMS show. I can kind of spin this around. Get a little bit of a view of the back here. Yeah, a little bit. still have the magnet attachment to the leg, so I can actually transport this a little easier. All I got to do is just pull this off. There's a big earth magnet in there. Yeah, now I can tilt this up and take a look at the front. I have not put any magnets in the shoulders. Those are still, it's a pretty strong connection right there, I have to say. So these are still going to be free floating. And just as long as nobody's trying to move them, should be okay. Because one of them, they're not loose, but they're not super tight either in the elbows, because these swivel. They swivel in and out, so they can come apart if somebody tries to. I thought about actually installing magnets in there, but I just never got around to it. I was busy building other stuff. So, all right, so that's number 2. And then we'll slide you back, and let's see, third one on the to be brought to IPMS is a Super Jerry. And everybody remembers this guy because it's fairly recent. I'll just tilt this back. Now there is a 3-volt battery in the belly. I'm going to put a brand new battery in it before the weekend, and then I've got some magnets that I'll take with these bamboo tweezers that I have to light up the fiber optics inside the cockpit. I'm going to move this just off to the side because everything else is attached. This one's called the Mechanic. And there he is. And there's another one of those little plaques I had made. So yeah, he's sitting there with all his tools and other accoutrements. Let me get a close-up of that if it focuses in on all the... There we go. A lot of that stuff was hand-painted. A lot of these little tools, man. A lot of little things in there. The socket set, though, I was told the socket set's inaccurate because it's not missing the 10 millimeter socket. Anybody that's a technician will know that, will understand. A couple of jerry cans there. Maybe even got coffee in his mug. You can see the glossy coffee in there. There's coffee in the mug. So yeah. Again, we added fiber optics to the cockpit. Also, the nose cone has a little bit of, there's a flickering light in the camera. There's also another piece of fiber optic that comes out of the nozzle here. Like if you're looking right there in front, that glass lens has an amber flickering LED, and then that nozzle, I guess it would be on the left, that has a red. Are you laughing at the 10 millimeter socket part? Yeah, they said it's not missing, so that's always the one that everybody drops and never gets back. So this was another first for me. I have never built a machining Krieger kit before. I wanted to give it good justice, so knowing the Mach-E community is they're pretty tight-knit group of people. And they like the way, there's a certain way they do it, usually heavy weathering, grimy, dirty, that kind of stuff. So I wanted to make sure I give it good representation of what they're all used to. And it seems like, hey, what's up, Mike? Horse Ghost is in the house. So we're on number 3 here. We're just talking about all the kits I'm bringing to IPMS Spring Show. We can go back through them too if anybody wants to see something else again, or I have a question about anything they saw. Just let me know and I'll bring it back over to the table. So, yeah, I'm not sure what else to say about this other than I like the representation. This is a nice vignette. It should do well. I hope it does well in the vignette category. And then last but not least, the Quaylen Row. This is going to be very familiar to everybody because this is the last thing I just finished very recently with the cell shading. Again, this will be in a diorama. I wasn't planning on bringing it to IPMS, but because it's a freestanding completed kit, I thought, why not? I redid the shoulders. They had some lines in them. When I clear coated, I'm going to have to go back over these two the gray areas here with some flat coat because initially when I had recolored them, I didn't do a second coat and it left those. You could see the pen lines in it when I clear coated it. So I redid it, put another layer on so that it got rid of those lines, and then I'll go back and spray some flat back over that, some flat finish over it. I've been using Guy Notes gloss and flat. They're really, really nice. So if you get a chance to ever use it, they're really good. So yeah, so far this looks pretty nice. And then with the Max Batarite right next to it, same scale. Let's see here. Let's see. Bring him in right here. Yeah, he's tiny. I mean, the legs on the Valkyrie are pretty long, but he's still going to only stand maybe a good shoulder length. This is like where he'll stand, about like that. It's still quite a bit shorter than the power suit that the Meltrandi wear. So yeah, nothing fancy with this. Straight build, just painted with the using the anime paint scheme. How far do you have to drive to get to the show? It's about an hour for me. It's in Renton. I think you're going, aren't you, Jason? It's in Renton, and it should take me about an hour from where I'm at. I was closer when I lived in Bothell, but now that I'm out in Sultan, I'm kind of in the sticks a little bit. So it takes a little bit longer. So I'll probably leave at 7:30, no later than 7:30, because I've been there a few times, and everybody starts showing up, and it just becomes this madhouse of people trying to get in the doors because it's just basically one big long hallway that goes down, and at the end of it is where you enter the room, the 15,000 square foot room that they're using, and so you've got to pay your money, then you got to walk in, go in and register all your kits and everything. It's the sooner I think I get there, the better. Be less people to deal with initially. And so once I'm done tonight with the show here, I'll start boxing these up, getting them prepared to move, to transport. Most of them are pretty easy. Like the Tomahawk comes apart, so that's not going to be a problem. And I still have the cardboard boxes that the Row came in, and the Max Batarite, if I get him done. The Super Jerry might be a little bit more challenging just because there's little antennas and stuff hanging off of it. So anyway, did you answer me, Jason? Are you going to the show this weekend? Anyway, so I just want to make sure I don't break any of the antennas off or scratch anything or anything like that. That's the worst part. Anyway, so yeah, that's it. Now I guess I can go back to if anybody else wants to see anything that they missed or wants to see something again, let me know before I go any further, because I'll start I'll bring out the pens and stuff and start working on the Max Batarite again here while we're talking, because we've only been on for about 30 minutes, and I was kind of hoping I could be a little more long-winded. Chip the shit out of that. I got to redo that. I'll just put some flat black paint on that. So assembling these joints are so tight. I actually chipped both sides of this kind of knee joint here, just trying to assemble it because it's just so tight. And then like I said, I got to shade the little knee pad here, and then that will go in that spot, cover up all this, and that will be done. What I was talking about earlier too is that this piece that goes on top just floats. It floats on top here. Once you install the ball joint and the peg through the hole, then that's it. This just kind of free floats there and allows you to make your posing adjustments as you're trying to pose it. I'm trying to get as close as I can to this here. I'll bring it up on my phone. You guys can see it. So I've got the choice. Let's see. So this is kind of like right after he lands. Oops. No. This is kind of like right after he lands. So not going to be like this. So probably closer to this. So from there to there, yeah, like I said, probably closer to this or this. So you can see like his right leg is slightly back, the left leg's out in front. That's what I'm trying to do. And then you can see the wings are out. The wings are really in the wrong position on the cell shade here on the image you're seeing, because in order for the wings to be open, they would really be up as high like where the shoulders are, and they've got them positioned so low in this drawing that it's the only way they could really accommodate those micro missile pods. I had to modify the shoulders just to make this thing fit the way it is. Yeah, I'm going. It's about 3-hour, 20-minute drive. Woo! Yeah, I know what that's like. You're down by Portland, right? So it's gonna be a drive for you. Get up nice and early. So anyway, that's the pose I'm trying to get. I think his left arm will be a little bit lower, like not like that. Well, I guess you could get closer to that, but what I'm trying to shoot for is maybe like this. So right here, the left arm is just kind of going across the body. So if I leave this here, you'll see what I'm talking about as I bring this up. So this is just going to be basically like that. And then, like I said, that floating piece, once you stick the peg and the ball joint through the hole there, that piece just floats up here. So I'm trying to figure out if I can go in front of this or behind this to get the pose right. I may have to put one in front, one in back, but I'm not sure yet. We'll see how that goes. So the wings are in. I didn't glue them in. They fit so tightly as it is. They're not going anywhere. I shadowed I was talking about this in the beginning. I shadowed the wings here because those are going to be when I install these. So as you put these two on, you can see where that would shadow any light coming in from the front past these. But this one I actually shaded this pod already, but this one goes on the outside of this wing. So each one is going to be colored individually to represent a position on the wings. So they're all a little bit different. But the light direction will make sense because this one, there's no shadowing on the outside, so there's really nothing there. So that's going to be on the outside. This one will be a little bit darker, mostly shadowed because it's tucked in behind there. But we'll figure that out because I still have to do the other three, and the other one on that wing and the two on this one. So the head is shaded, the chest underneath those intake vents. Back looks really nicely done. I really like the way the wings came out and the whole backpack. Everything looks really, really nice. I'm really satisfied with how that came out. I'll take some nice photos against a black background. That should make it look like an anime strip. So when I'm finished with it. So anyway, that is that. So let's get a little sip of wine here. Anybody want to see anything again? You want to talk about any of these? Let me know. Otherwise, I'll pull the pens up here and maybe start doing some more of the gray on the other arm. Just basically got to pile these pens. Normally, I keep them on my left, but since I got the pin over here, I'll just put them over here. Yeah, that's all I needed there. Yep. All right, so I'm gonna need some glasses so I can see what the hell I'm looking at. I'm gonna touch up this one with some paint. If I go straight over it with the paint pen, it'll just come right back off. The paint pens are just so incredibly fragile. So I'm just gonna get some flat black lacquer. Once I do the clear coat at the end of everything, you're not even going to notice the color difference, any kind of shade difference, because they're so close together. But the black from the pens, as well as the black, or the gray, it all kind of blends together nicely once it's once you clear coat it. It just kind of tones everything down to the same shadow. All right. This is dangerous. I should probably put these away. Just because I don't want to get any paint or anything. Or any lacquer thinner for that matter. I'm cleaning my brushes with. So like I said, I still got one arm to do, and I was in the middle of gluing up the hand that holds the gun pod here, because it was really a really poor seam. I had to clamp it together to get this hand this tightly together. I still have to flat coat it as well. I put the decal on the top of the hand there. Now I can see, actually, I have a small little thin pencil, and a lot of times what I've been doing is I look at the position of things and I'll go through and just kind of make some identifying marks with the pencil that will cover up with the paint pens where the shadows would be based on the positioning of what's in his hand. Like, the back of this back of the gun pod here, there's obviously going to be some shadowing here, and depending on how he's holding it, depending on where the other arm is. So the top of the arm is going to be quite a bit, as well as the inside here, and maybe even the bottom. Not so much on this side, because mostly the light's coming down from right to left. So I did start some of the gray on the shoulder here. You can see I actually stopped. I was starting to do some of that on the inside, depending on what the position is. So, sometimes what I've been doing is I've been installing it, put the arm in, see where the shadows would be, take it back out. I think this one I had in the position like this. Let's see, there we go. Gotta be careful there. So yeah, so this will probably, I'm gonna have to turn that. I wasn't sure if I could do it, straight up and down the way the shoulder was originally intended to be, because with the wings open, it really gives you no room to move anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this back out. I know I'm off camera here, but I'm trying to be careful. All right, so I'm going to rotate it around. This is why I modified these shoulders, is so they could fit with wings. There we go. No, you know what? I have to do halfway like that. There we go. So there. Now I can bring this down. I think that is the position I'm going for. That's why I'm using this hand too. There were several hands that you could use in the kit. I like this one because it looks a lot like that one image where he's just kind of guiding supporting the gun pod before he brings it down and aims, takes aim where he's aiming. So I might even bring this up just slightly like that. Yeah, so something like that. Farther south near Salem. Oh boy. That is a long ass drive. Are you sure it's only 3 some hours? I guess if you get up early enough, yeah, it might be 3 something. So yeah, I think that's the position I'm going to put the shoulder in. So that gives me an idea of where I've got to do the shadowing here. I've also not fully pushed this arm, the forearm, the upper arm into that elbow or the shoulder joint yet, because they're just so tight and it's so hard to get apart. I started doing the outlines on the upper arm too, but that just started rubbing off because I still got to do the gray first, and then the last thing I do is the outlining. So you can see that this arm's all outlined, and this one is not. So you can see the difference, kind of a huge difference as far as the way it looks with trying to recreate that anime style. All right, so I'm going to take my pencil and do what I was talking about. May not do any of the shading on it, but at least I can draw a couple lines here. This is pretty heavy with that gun pod in there. So I'm just going to take this back out. And then, like I said, I'll just take my pencil here and just going to draw a line. That way I know exactly where I'm going to put, at least, there's going to be some more added to it, but at least I know I need to cover at least that minimum spot of like the inside of the arm here. I could easily just do this portion, but based on the way it's held and his arm coming up, this whole inside of this arm is going to be completely gray. So what I'll do is I'll figure out what I'm going to do on the bottom. And then, so the top, there's not going to be a lot of shading on this. There will be quite a bit in here. Another thing I did is I took a brush. I was talking earlier about I can take some of the paint from these pens and actually put it in a tin and actually brush it on. And that way I can do the whole inside of this area without having to worry about trying to get a pen in there. It's just easier to use a brush. You can actually paint the stuff with a brush. So, all right, let's see here. I still have to flat coat the hand first. I can't, it's using gloss paint, so it's, these pens are not going to stick to it. It's really necessary. You really have to do a flat coat. So it's the only way this stuff will grip. So this is the line that I just drew. I think what I'll do is maybe do like a curved line here. And then this will all be filled in with gray. And that's just the fine tip. I use the fine tip one to kind of get my line started. Then I'll go back with the little bit thicker 3mm and just cover everything up. Yeah, just like that. Take this piece off because it's just too tight. It's just in the way. Okay. The gray, one of the things I noticed with the gray is you really have to hit it with 2 coats sometimes, especially when covering up white. Just seems like, maybe it's just the paint isn't fully mixed or whatever, but it just seems like it's you tend to start seeing the lines from the marker as you're going. As it dries, you start seeing those little, almost like brush strokes, essentially. I think what I'll do here too is I'm going to need I do this. Did I use a clip before? No. I think I need a small clip. There, that way I can just hold this and not. So this is all going to be done in gray. So I got to fill this whole area in here. And here's an area like around these little air thrusters, air vents. I've got to go around with the fine tip, just because I don't want to lose that detail. I'm still going to have to touch up the circle with my really fine, 0.3 pen, but at least this way I can get most of that gray color around it. Be careful. I don't want to go onto the bottom here because I'm thinking it might be a little bit, but not much. So I'm just going to go right up to the edge for now until I figure out where I want to do my shadowing on the bottom of the arm there. All right, now, yeah, see now this top piece is dry, the top portion is dry, but you can still see some of that, some of the white of the paint coming through. So I'm just going to go back over this with a small second coat or a thin second coat, so that will get rid of all those. And then once I clear coat it, Should look very nice. I've got to do the same on the side here, but I got to wait for it to dry. All right, while I'm waiting for that, I can go down the edge here. Let's see, I think this inside will be completely covered. So this one I'm waiting for that to dry. I'm going to do a little bit of a demo on using a brush. So this is a 5 mil, one of the grays, but it's a gray color, but it's a 5 mil, which is a really fat ink pen, but it also holds a ton of paint. So if I just, actually, let me shake this up first. I've used quite a bit of this, but what I want to do is I want to fill in all this area here on the back, inside the back of the elbow there with the gray. But getting a pen in there is really not possible. I mean, you can get some of it done. So I'm just pushing down the tip here really over saturating that paint, the tip of it, so it will just leave like a big blob of paint in my little tin here, and then I can take a brush and there, that should do it. All right, so now I'm going to take this brush. Yeah, this will work. If I need more, I can just grab some more. So yeah, I'm going to need more. I'm just going to paint. I literally use the brush and just paint it in there. But I didn't get enough. I thought I got more than that. There we go. This is what I did when I mixed up that red and the brown, so I could do this shadowing on those the kite logos. I don't need too much in here because some of this will be covered up by that forearm piece, but at least I can fill all this in a lot easier than trying to get a pen in there. It's just not going to work. All right, I'm going to need one more coat of that, so I'm going to get a little more paint. There we go. Just going to hold it there. Hold it there for a second, and it'll just blob out, And these do clean up with enamel thinner. I discovered that as well. So if you make a little mistake, like if you get it quick enough, you got to make sure it's not really drying much before you do it. But if you get it quick enough, since I got some extra paint there, I'm going to go ahead and just use it to do my second coat on this. Rather than using the pens, I might as well just do this. Why waste it, right? One thing I've been doing is, because a lot of these panel lines are getting covered up a little bit with these paint pens. Not too overly worried about that, but the major details, like some of the little, big notches or something like that, those I've been going through and redoing with the black pen. What's up? Manny's in the house. How you doing, Manny? Sorry I missed you. He was up. Yes. How are you, my friend? So we're just doing a little bit more of the cell shading. I went through, in the beginning here of the show, I went through the 4 kits that I definitely am bringing to IPMS. If I finish the Bataroid, then I will take it as well. Still may be able to do if I can finish it the next few days. All right, so if this is going to be in this position here, I'm going to have to some of this stuff takes a little bit of extra thought, just where making sure you know where you're putting your lines. So the gun pawn's going there. So this would be, main thing is just trying to keep it consistent. As like, the direction of light that you choose, whether it be straight down or at an angle, where it's like this one's at an angle. So, oops, that's correct. That's black. I want black. Not yet, anyway. I still need the gray. And then I'll take the black later and outline this whole thing. But initially I just need to put, I will take the black, however, to fill in this spot here. Hey, what's up, G1? How are you? G1's in the house as well. How you doing, guys? For those of you that have joined a little later, I mean, I can, we went through each kit that I'm taking to the IPMS show, but I can go back through those and do it again if we want at the end. If anybody wants to see that stuff. All right, so I've got that and that. I think I'm going to do a little bit on the bottom, primarily reflection, kind of like the way I did the front of this arm. You see there's like some reflection lines going across, just no shading really, but just reflection lines. And I'm going to do that too as well. Maybe from down this direction. That, let's see. If I have that angled. Yeah, I'm going to have to put a little bit of gray. I'm trying to just picture how I'm going to do this, because there's going to be a little bit of shadow here too, but not completely covering this up like I did the inside here. So I think I need to come across maybe from this corner, come down, kind of, you know, something like that, just covering the inside edge. And then I can have a couple of those gloss lines go across. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start here and just fill in this area here because this is going to be filled in. But then I'll come down back across, just kind of like that. Not real significant coverage, but just enough. Okay. Then I'll go back to the 1 mil. Yeah, and we'll start here. And just do those glare lines. I'm going to do one more, about halfway down. Just like that. I might even do a second one here just to change it up a little bit. Dolphin Bird, how are you? The folks love Mecca. How's it going, man? You're visiting me on Twitch. How's it going? Nice to have you. Welcome in. So we're just doing cell shading on this Max Betaroid kit. Earlier I discussed all of the entries I'm bringing to the IPMS show this weekend. But I can very easily go back over that stuff. If anybody wants to revisit that, let me know in the chat. What's up, Angel? Angel's in. How you doing, Angel? Looks like I may hopefully finish the Betaroid, so I might have a total of 5 entries instead of 4, if I can, in fact, finish it. So the outside of the arm, actually, that one's, there's not going to be any gloss on it or any shading on it, so I might do another gloss line on it, which I need. So I'm going to go right through this point here, across the black. Almost really just intersecting with that line that I have already underneath. Okay, that looks kind of nice. So that line starts there and goes around and actually continues on. Down the back of the arm. There. Then I'll make little touch-ups to the black. I still got to touch up the black here as well. And the circle, the little vent. Actually, those are little thrusters, but stabilizing thrusters. The Valkyries have. Once that's dry, then I'll take one of these. I've got this Aught 3 very fine tip pen and go around and readdress that circle, and then I can take the black 1 mil here and touch up the inside. so carefully. What the hell happened to my pen? Did I drip? I must have got some gray paint on the table or something. I just realized I got some of the gray paint all over my black cap here, but I don't see where it, I didn't scuff up my finish or anything. And once I get all the colors on here, then I can I'll go ahead and clear coat it, and that will seal that, and we'll be protected, because this, like I said, these pens are nice, but they're not durable, especially in this application. Other stuff, maybe on paper they might be, but not seeing that doing this kind of work. So I went over into my black line here, a couple of spots. So I'm just redressing those lines. All right, looks pretty good. All right. Now, let me see if I can figure out. So this is going to be kind of in this position here. Yeah, kind of tilt it up. Maybe let's see if I bring it from underneath. Maybe like kind of like this. Something like that. Yeah, I kind of like that. That looks pretty good. So I'm going to grab hang on a second. I'll be right back. I need one of my little foam blocks here that I can stick this skewer in. All right, so this way I don't have to hold on to it. It can dry. All right, so here's the other kneecap that I have to put on the other leg, but I also need to shade it first as well. So actually I can do that now. So this goes on once you install this piece on the knee or on the leg, then this goes in down in this position here. So what I need to do, actually I need to grab that. Actually, no, this is the one I was using. So, all right, you can see how fragile this stuff is. I already outlined this really by accident because I need to do the gray first, but you can see where stuff just rubs off if you're too aggressive with it. But once you seal everything, it's fine. It's just you gotta be careful not to jack it up. So I want to look at this and kind of get an idea where my shadows are going to go. So I'm not going to press this on. I'm just going to kind of pop it in here so I can kind of see. So I'll do the side in gray, probably over this here. Oh, King's Gate. And then I think what I'll do is come down. I guess kind of in the same way. I could do like a glare line. Not going to be too much. Actually, this leg's supposed to be tucked in a little bit further, so might do a little bit down at the bottom here. So I'm going to just kind of give myself a reference line there. I'll go and do the gray. This is a small piece, so it's pretty easy to do here. Stay still. That's right. You guys are lucky to have me on. When the Kings are playing in the playoffs, man, nothing gets in the way of me watching a hockey game, but except this show. But I will say this: if they play as poorly as they did in Game 1, it's not going to be worth watching anyway. That was horrible. So I'm just going over my shadow here, where the shadow is going to be on this kneecap. When the gray dries, then I'll go back over it and outline the edges again with black. But I think what I want to do while I have this here is use, I'm going to have to do this close to the chest there just so I want to do a kind of like a glare line. I think I need to go from here and kind of come down like this. There we go. So something like that. Just to give it a little bit of texture, and I'll let that dry for a sec. And then we can redo the outline. Doesn't need much there. This side's pretty good. I just need to redo the lines on the other side. Okay, let's see. Is this thing dried enough that I can? I think so. So what I'm going to do, I need a piece of paper here. This will work. Just want to make sure my pen is working properly. So I'm going to go through and redo the circle on this vent thruster. This pen is small enough that it actually fits in the panel line. Not perfectly, but it's enough to guide it. So I'm going to actually dress up that circle and make it look nice again. All right, so that's done. Okay, so now the next step is to outline it, which I need 3 mil black for. Let's see this, put that back over there. All right. So this is a little tricky. Requires quite a bit of, oops, that's the 1 mil. I almost screwed that up. It's not the one I wanted. Where is it? There it is. There's my 3 mil. I'm going to start with these lines first. This is the nerve-wracking part because it's you want to be as clean as possible, but on the other hand, I've even put in my notes for these entries that the imperfection on these lines is intentional. It further gives the illusion of hand-drawn, cell shading. So the fact that there is a little bit of, if there is a little bit, if the line, isn't perfectly straight or a little, if you look at the cell that I took a screenshot of, I mean, you can see it. It just looks like, wow. I mean, they really they're really not very straight lines. I mean, they're definitely hand drawn, and that's what I'm trying to go for. I'm not counting on it being perfect. I want it to be good, but it doesn't. It doesn't have to be absolutely 100% perfect. I'm trying to see, did I do the insides? No, I did not. Okay. So now you can see a little bit of that with the outlining, how that actually changes quite a bit, the look of it. If I have to go back and touch up the gray or whatever, or even the white, I can take a brush out, and since that's the actual, just the paint color, I can clean up the line if I really do screw it up pretty bad, which I have had to do. At least the gray allows me to, I can touch up the gray easier because I've already got the paint on it. All I got to do is get the pen back out and redo it. I'm just taking the edge of the pen and going over, basically over the ridge, trying to get this in a position that I can support it so it doesn't move on me. All right, there we go. That makes it easier. Yeah, I'm going to have to clean up that line a little bit. It's all good. Once the outlines are done, then it really makes the whole thing. Dog is tripping out on your pen shaking. Oh, okay. Get your puppy all wound up. That's funny. Sorry. Not sorry. All right, 2 more lines here to do. Well, 4 more, actually. I got to go along this whole edge twice because there's two facets. Ooh, wow. That just dumped a ton of paint. As soon as I pressed down that pen, it just really dumped. That would have made a mess. Okay. Let's try this again. I went to draw that line the first time, and nothing really came off the tip of the pen, but that was close. But so I went to press down and get a little more paint on there, and it just came flowing out like mad. I was like, whoa. Definitely going to have to clean up that line as well. At least those are in the gray. The ones in the white are the ones I can't, well, I don't want to screw up. Let's put it that way. All right. There goes nothing. Actually, let's see what I can do. Take this and just kind of setting it down to support it so it doesn't move on me, but not too bad. I find myself holding my breath as I'm doing this. So I'm really trying not to. All right. Yeah, a little bit of touch up to do on the white there too, but oh well, it is what it is. That one came out pretty good. Yeah, you can definitely see where I need some touch up, so I'm gonna let that dry for a second. Oops, and now what we'll do, since this one is now dry, I'll take the same pen and do the same thing over here. I'll clean up these two. Yeah. You know what I need? I need a smaller. Yeah. Got me holding my breath while you do that. Yeah. I know. I'm doing the same thing. Try not to, but I can't get the angle here because of this. This is a smaller skewer, but it's, man, it's really coming out quick. I don't want that to happen. Just want a little paint, not a bunch. All right, we're just gonna have to keep this. I'm trying to keep it on camera, but some of the things I'm doing like tight to my chest because I'm just trying to support my wrist and support the pen at the same time and the piece. There we go. That line came out nicely. All right, I like it. All right, we'll do the perimeter here. This one's already done, but it needs a little bit of cleanup because it got chipped while I was handling it. There. And then all right. So that's done now. That's ready for clear coat. All right. So I think this is dry enough. And these pens dry pretty quickly, so it does allow you the freedom of, you know, going back over it relatively quickly, but just had a little bit too much of the black carry over into the middle of that that line there, so I had to go back over it and essentially widen the gray line in between. Oh, gosh darn it. I just went to clean up that black line, and what did I do? I put too much on there. So we'll wait for that to dry and fix it again. In the meantime, I'm going to take some, let's see, 316, which is right here. This is the color used that Asagawa uses on all white Valkyries, I should say, not the low visibility versions, but anything that's standard color. That is the body color is 316. So I've already done this enough times. So I'm just gonna clean up this. Get it a little closer here. Ooh, we're almost done. I'm going to clean up this. There, a little better. Still going to redress that black one, but the point is that I get, excuse me, most of that, what should be white, back in there. That looks way better. Okay. All right. Let's clean this brush. And then we'll press up those black lines again and hopefully be done. Okay. Just a couple more little fixes here and we'll be done. So let me go back. That. Okay. Then I need the one, oops. Gray. There and on the outside here. All right. Oops, a little bit more here on top. This line is also a little thick, so I'm going to just all right, folks. This one's, I think, ready for clear. I might have to go with black just one more time just to fully clean up little tiny imperfections, but for the most part, it looks pretty good. And then we just have the rest of the shoulder and the forearm there, or the upper arm. That's easy because it's really, I mean, the shoulder's harder because there's decals involved and I got to go around those, but the upper arm is just all white, so there's really nothing. It's just one color, usually putting gray on it, and that's about it. All right. All right, so with that, let's go back to, so here we are, just looking at what we've got going. I got 4 kits definitely going to IPMS this weekend. I got the Tomahawk, the Super Jerry, Quinlan Rowe, maybe the Max Battle and the tank behind me. Looks like I'm in good shape to finish this up. Now that I know the positioning, of the the gun pawn on the arm and the shadowing here, I can do this. I've also got to flat coat the hand first before I can do that because it's still glossed But the legs are essentially done except for that one piece I need to flat coat there. Again, here's that. Looks pretty nice. This piece just floats on top, so once it's installed, the peg goes through the leg peg goes through the hole into the ball joint there, and then that's it. That's what holds it in place. So, all right. So, another show in the books, boys and girls. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for talking to me. Thanks for all the support. We'll see you this weekend. If you find me at IPMS, come get some slaps. I got some stickers. I got more showing up tomorrow. Same image, just a round sticker versus a square. But also got the cards. I'll hand out some cards and stuff like that. That way people can have the websites at their fingertips in case they forget where to look for me. But yeah, that's what I'll be doing. And I'll be talking it up, maybe judging. I don't know. Nobody's approached me yet, but we'll see if they need help with Gundam kits or something like that, since I'm not entering any Gundam kits this year. Everything's just in mecha mostly, and vignettes or dioramas. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see where it goes. So be good humans, everybody. We'll see you next week. I'll give you actually, Saturday I'll try to do a little bit of live segment too. I might do a walkthrough showing off. I'll wait till most of the kits are on the tables and then try to do a little walkthrough so everybody can see how many. It's 15,000 square foot room, so it's big room. A lot of vendors. They have a little sub room for some of the overflow vendors going to that room. But I like to use this event. This is where I usually get supplies. Like finding tapes or glue. All the little things like that we use every day. So that's what I like to go there for. Though I do end up usually getting a kit or two. And I'll buy some raffle stuff, buy some raffle tickets, and usually end up walking away with something there too, which is kind of nice. The way they do their raffles is if your ticket gets drawn, it's basically a section. There's like a rack behind where they do everything, and they'll have a section like you can pick anything you want out of it. You don't just get a selected model and that's what you get no matter what. You say, I want that one, whatever is on, if it's say rack B or whatever, you look at rack B and you go, okay, I want that one. And if it's, they just reach over and hand it to you. Everything that's there has been donated by various builders and vendors, stuff like that. So really cool. Anyway, we'll talk to you soon. See you next time. Thanks again, everybody. Be good humans. Later.